Welcome to Learning Reframed, a leadership series exploring calm leadership, strategic clarity, and the systems that build high-performance cultures. I'm Dr. Ken Feldman, and each episode we explore the practical disciplines that help leaders create clarity, stability, and meaningful progress in complex environments. If you find these conversations valuable, be sure to follow the podcast and share with someone who might benefit from our information. Let's get started. Most people believe they struggle with learning because they don't have enough time. But in many cases, that's not the real issue. The issue is how is time being used? Learning doesn't fail because time is limited. It fails because time is used in ways that don't align with how attention and energy actually work. Think about what often happens. People sit down to learn with no clear structure, no defined start, no clear end, no boundaries around what they're trying to accomplish. Time feels open, uncontained, and when time feels that way, attention becomes harder to sustain. Or the opposite happens. Time is overloaded. Long sessions, multiple tasks, constant switching, no breaks. And again, learning becomes difficult. Not because of effort, but because how time is structured. This is where learning blocks become so vitally important. Learning blocks are not about doing more. They're about organizing time in a way that supports focus. At their simplest, learning blocks create three specific items: a clear beginning, defined focus, and a clear stopping point. That alone changes how learning feels, because the brain doesn't have to manage uncertainty: when to start, what to do, and when it's done. Effective learning blocks are typically not very long, usually between 20 to 45 minutes, long enough to engage, short enough to sustain attention. Within that blocks, the focus is singular, one task, one objective, not multiple directions, not constant switching. And just as important as the work itself is what happens between the blocks. The key is recovery, a short break, a moment to reset, because attention is not unlimited. It needs to be restored. I've seen this shift make a real difference. Someone struggling to study for hours at a time, they're exhausted, inconsistent, frustrated. We didn't add more time, we just restructured it. Shorter blocks, clear focus, planned breaks, and suddenly learning became more manageable, more consistent, much more effective. Not because they worked harder, but because they worked within their capacity. So the question is, how much time do I have? The real question is, how is my time structured? This week, let's try a simple adjustment. Let's choose one learning task. Let's set a clear block, 25 minutes. Focus on one item, then stop. Take a short break and notice the difference. Because when time is structured well, learning feels possible. And when it's not, even motivated learners struggle. Set time, create the learning blocks, and you'll see how learning starts to expand. Thanks for listening to Learning Reframed. If this episode was helpful, consider following the podcast and sharing it with someone who might benefit from our conversation. You could explore more leadership and learning insights, books, and writing at learningreframed.org. And remember, learning and leadership becomes clearer the more calmly and consistently we practice it. See you next time.